Welcome to Hello English Teacher. Today let's look at the second part of the line by line explanation of the chapter Mother's Day from class 11 English. If you are watching my video for the first time, please subscribe. You can listen to the explanations of chapters from classes 10, 11 and 12 English. And don't forget to press the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I upload a video. Let's go on to the video now. So, we have seen how the personalities of the two ladies have been exchanged after Mrs. Fitzgerald had spelt out the magic spell. So, now let us see what is going to happen. Mrs. Fitzgerald with Pearson's personality. Oh, it's happened. So, now we know that the bodies are the same, but then the personalities are different. Inside Mrs. Fitzgerald's body, it is actually Mrs. Pearson, and inside Mrs. Pearson's body, it is Mrs. Fitzgerald. So, they will speak according to their personalities. So, now Mrs. Fitzgerald is speaking, that means it is Mrs. Pearson who is actually speaking. So, what is she saying? Oh, it's happened. So, what has happened? The change has happened. She is surprised at that. Now, Mrs. Pearson complacently, what is complacent? Being so proud of one's achievement, because she was the one who gave out the magic spell and then she was able to exchange the personalities. So, now she is speaking. Oh, it's happened, of course, very neat, didn't know I had it in me. So, she was also surprised at what she did, because she was not very sure whether it will happen, but then it really happened. The personalities have been exchanged. Mrs. Fitzgerald alarmed, but whatever shall I do, Mrs. Fitzgerald? George and the children can't see me like this. So, now Mrs. Fitzgerald, that means Mrs. Pearson is speaking, and what is she saying? She is very worried because she is thinking that her husband and children would have to see her in this form, and she is worried that that is not going to happen. Now, Mrs. Pearson grimly, Mrs. Pearson is actually the personality with Mrs. Fitzgerald. Grimly means in a serious manner. They aren't going to, that is the point. They will have me to deal with, only they won't know. So, she is trying to advise Mrs. Pearson. What is she saying? Don't worry, they will only have to deal with me, or I am going to deal with them, and they are not going to see you like this forever. So, now Mrs. Fitzgerald, actually Mrs. Pearson, still alarmed. So, she is still feeling frightened. But what if we can't change back? It would be terrible. So, she is afraid whether the personalities can be turned back, whether she can get her own body or not. So, she is afraid, what if they get stuck in these bodies? So, Mrs. Pearson, actually Mrs. Fitzgerald, here steady Mrs. Pearson, if you had to live my life, it wouldn't be so bad. You would have more fun as me than you have had as you. So, Mrs. Fitzgerald was just trying to joke with Mrs. Pearson by saying that if at all you are going to live in my body, then you will have more fun than your own life. So, don't worry. She was only trying to make fun of Mrs. Pearson. Now, Mrs. Fitzgerald, yes, but I don't want to be anybody else. So, Mrs. Pearson is actually speaking from the body of Mrs. Fitzgerald. So, what is she saying? I don't want to be anybody else, I want to be myself, I want to be Mrs. Pearson. So, now Mrs. Pearson, now stop worrying, it's easier changing back, I can do it anytime we want. So, she was trying to console Mrs. Pearson, and so Mrs. Fitzgerald just told her that we can do it at any time, I can change you back anytime, so don't keep worrying. So, let us do for what purpose we have done this, so let us finish that. So, I can change you back any time. So, she tried to console Mrs. Pearson. So, Mrs. Fitzgerald, that is Mrs. Pearson, well, do it now. So, she is saying better you finish your job now itself. Mrs. Pearson, who is actually Mrs. Fitzgerald, not likely, I have got to deal with your family first, that is the idea, isn't it? Didn't know how to begin with them, you said. Well, I will show you. So, Mrs. Fitzgerald told Mrs. Pearson that, okay, wait, I am going to do it. First, let me deal with your family. So, I was just thinking how to start, and you also had a confusion about it. Now, I am going to show you how I am going to deal with your family. So, you just wait and watch. So, now Mrs. Fitzgerald, that is Mrs. Pearson. But what am I going to do? So, she was afraid what she has to do, because the other person, that is Mrs. Fitzgerald, would be dealing with the family. So, what was she supposed to do? Where was she supposed to go? So she was worried about that. So now Mrs. Pearson, actually Mrs. Fitzgerald is speaking. Go into my house for a bit, there's nobody there, then pop back and see how we are doing. So what is she advising? She is saying you can go and sit in my house because my house is empty, nobody is there. So after some time you can come back and see how I am trying to deal with your family. You ought to enjoy it, better get off now before one of them comes. So she is asking her to hurry up. So the real Mrs. Fitzgerald, who is inside Mrs. Pearson's body, is asking Mrs. Pearson, who is inside Mrs. Fitzgerald's body, to go to her house and sit and enjoy the scene, and she does not want any of the family members to see her. Now Mrs. Fitzgerald nervously rising. So this is actually Mrs. Pearson. Yes, I suppose that's the best. You're sure it will be all right? So she agreed to what she said, and she was trying to get some assurance whether everything will be fine. Mrs. Pearson chuckling, that means Mrs. Fitzgerald, she was just smiling to herself. It will be wonderful. Now off you go, dear. So she told her to go to her house and sit. Mrs. Fitzgerald crosses and hurries out through the door right. So Mrs. Fitzgerald here means Mrs. Pearson. So left to herself, Mrs. Pearson, that is Mrs. Fitzgerald, smokes away, lighting another cigarette. We know that Mrs. Fitzgerald smokes. So now she is inside Mrs. Pearson's body. So she is sitting there and trying to smoke, and begins laying out the cards for patients on the table. So she still has the cards with her. She just lays them on the table, and she wants to wait patiently for the others to come. After a few moments, Doris Pearson comes in, bursting in left. She is a pretty girl in her early 20s who would be pleasant enough if she had not been spoiled. So as she is sitting there, her daughter, that is Mrs. Pearson's daughter, that is Doris Pearson, a girl who is in her 20s, comes in. She is very good looking girl, but she is a spoiled girl. That means she has no manners, she does not know how to respect elders. So she is kind of a spoiled girl. So she just comes in to the house. So Doris is looking at her mother, and she speaks up before she has taken anything in. Mom, you will have to iron my yellow silk, I must wear it tonight. So as soon as she comes, she just starts giving orders to her mother. So what is she telling? She wants her yellow dress to be ironed because she has to wear it for a party or something that night. She now sees what is happening and is astounded. So she looks at her mother and she sees there is a lot of change, and she is astounded means totally taken aback. She is surprised. What are you doing? She moves down left center. Mrs. Pearson now uses her ordinary voice, but her manner is not fluttering and apologetic, but cool and incisive. So what is she doing? She was actually sitting there and smoking and trying to play cards. So that was when Doris entered. So looking at this, the girl was shocked because her mother is not to do all these things, but she sees her mother there and she does not know it is actually Mrs. Fitzgerald who is inside her mother's body. So the lady, that is Mrs. Pearson, who is actually Mrs. Fitzgerald, is trying to talk in a ordinary voice because she wants to appear as Mrs. Pearson, and she is not having the fluttering or apologetic voice that Mrs. Pearson has. She is having cool and incisive voice because she is actually Mrs. Fitzgerald. So what is the meaning of this incisive? It is not incisive, it is incisive. So the meaning is somebody who speaks with an intelligent and analytical voice. So we know that Mrs. Pearson is a very assertive person. So she speaks in this incisive manner. So Mrs. Pearson, who is actually Mrs. Fitzgerald, not even looking up. What do you think I am doing? Whitewashing the ceiling? So when the daughter gave some orders, she did not want to obey. Whereas if it was the real Mrs. Pearson, she would have run and kept the things ready. So Doris is still astounded, and but you are smoking. So she was shocked to see her mother smoking because her mother never smokes. So and she is also not used to getting this back answers from the mother. Mrs. Pearson, that's right dear, no law against it, is there? So she is asking, okay, I am smoking, is there any law against it? So Doris, but I thought you didn't smoke. And the daughter says, yes, I have never seen you smoking. So how is that you are smoking now? then you thought wrong. So now Mrs. Fitzgerald is saying, then what you think is wrong. Are we having tea in the kitchen? So the girl wanted some tea. So she's asking her mother if the tea is ready. Have it where you like, dear. So what did the mother say? Drink it wherever you like to drink it. So have it where you like. So she didn't even mean to say whether the tea was ready or not in the kitchen. So hearing this reply, the daughter gets very angry. What is she saying? Doris angrily. Do you mean it isn't ready? So she's asking. So what do you mean by this? Are you telling that the tea is not ready? So Mrs. Pearson, yours isn't. I have had all I want. Might go out later and get a square meal at the Clarendon. So what is Mrs. Pearson telling? I have drunk my tea. If you want, you get it ready. I have it made for you, and later I may go out and have a meal at the Clarendon. So what is the meaning of square meal? Square meal is a balanced meal. So she was not used to get such kind of answers from her mother, and so she couldn't believe her ears. So she's asking, who might? So Mrs. Pearson immediately says, I might. Who do you think? So the mother says to the daughter, yes, I might go. So she wanted to make her daughter feel that and understand that it is she who meant that she would be going out to have a meal. So Doris staring at her mom, what's the matter with you? So Doris couldn't believe her ears because her mother was totally behaving in a very different manner. As she entered, she saw her smoking, she saw her sitting with the cards, and she didn't make her tea ready. She was not ready to iron her clothes, and she is also saying that she had drunk her tea and she might go out and have her meal. So all these made her feel very unbelievable. She couldn't believe what was happening in front of her eyes. So she asked her mother, what's the matter with you? And Mrs. Pearson says, don't be silly. So we know that this Mrs. Pearson, who is talking so boldly, is now Mrs. Fitzgerald. So why is she doing this? She wants to make these family members understand the importance of Mrs. Pearson. So Doris indignantly, what is indignantly? Showing annoyance or anger. It's not me that's being silly, and I must say it's a bit much when I've been working hard all day and you can't even bother to get my tea ready. So when the mother said not to be silly, what she's saying? Doris is saying that she is not silly, and she is saying that her mother is the one who is acting in a very different manner. And at the same time, she is also trying to complain, telling that she has been working all day and that the mother is not bothered even to make her tea ready. Did you hear what I said about my yellow silk? And she is once again asking her mother if she remembered what she said about the yellow silk. She had asked her mother to iron it and keep it ready because she wanted to go out that night. So Mrs. Pearson, no, don't you like it now? I never did. So what is she saying? Mrs. Fitzgerald is the one who is speaking actually. So she is saying that, no, I don't know. Don't you like it now, your yellow dress? So Doris indignantly again. So again she is feeling angry by the way her mother is speaking to her. Of course I like it, and I am going to wear it tonight, so I want it to be ironed. So once again she is telling her mother that she likes the yellow dress and she wants it to be ironed by her mother because she wants to wear it that night and she wants to go out. And Mrs. Pearson, want it ironed? What do you think it's going to do? Iron itself? So Mrs. Pearson, who is actually now Mrs. Fitzgerald, is asking the daughter, like, what do you mean by want it ironed? So do you think the iron will iron by itself? So she wanted to make her understand that the mother is not going to iron it, and if she wants, she has to do it by herself. So Doris is replying, no, you are going to iron it for me, you always do. So she is saying, no, the iron is not going to iron by itself, I want you to iron it for me because you are the one who does this always for me. Now Mrs. Pearson is speaking, that is Mrs. Fitzgerald. Well, this time I don't, and don't talk rubbish to me about working hard. I have good idea how much you do, Doris Pearson. So the daughter had told her that she was working all day and that she hadn't bothered to make her tea. So now the mother is replying. She is telling her, don't talk rubbish, and I know about how much you work, and I put in twice the hours you do and get no wages nor thanks for it. Why are you going to wear your yellow silk? Where are you going? So the mother also wanted to tell about her. She also said that I also do double your work and nobody is thankful to me, or I am not getting any money for it. And she also questions her about the yellow silk. She is asking, where are you going and why do you want that yellow dress? Now Doris, in a sulky manner, out with Charlie Spence. Mrs. Pearson, why? So Doris is talking in a sulky manner. What is the meaning of sulky? Being in a bad temper, because she was being questioned by the mother. So she says, I am going out with Charlie Spence. So immediately the mother asks, why do you want to go out? So Doris has never been used to such kind of questions from her mother, because her mother was a person who used to do every work quietly and without any questions. So now as the mother is asking a lot of questions, so she is becoming very angry. So in a wild manner she replies, why, what's the matter with you? Why shouldn't I go out with Charlie Spence? If he asks me and I want to. Any objections? Go on, you might as well tell me. So she is asking in a very angry manner to her mother that, what is the matter with you? Why is that you are telling me that I should not go out with Charlie Spence and I want to go out with him? So do you have any objections? You can tell me if there is objections. If you don't like me to go with him, please tell me why you are telling so. So immediately Mrs. Pearson, who is actually Mrs. Fitzgerald, severely, can't you find anybody else? I wouldn't be seen dead with Charlie Spence, buck teeth and half-witted. So immediately Mrs. Pearson speaks out in a very severely manner, means in a strong way. What is she saying? Can't you find any other person? I wouldn't be seen dead with Charlie Spence. So what is she saying? That wouldn't be seen dead means she would never do it. That means she would never go out with Charlie Spence. She calls him buck teeth and half-witted. What is buck teeth? His teeth is not properly placed in the front. It is seen outside, and half-witted means somebody who is not very intelligent. So she is calling this fellow as buck teeth and half-witted. Doris, he isn't. So she is trying to protect him by telling, no, he is not like what you think. Mrs. Pearson, when I was your age, I would have found somebody better than Charlie Spence or given up myself as a bad job. So she is telling the daughter that when I was your age, I would have found somebody much better than this buck teeth and half-witted fellow, or else I would have given it myself up as a bad job. That means I would have said that I am not good at choosing a right person. So I think you are also not good at choosing the right person. You should never have gone with that fellow, or you should have never found such a fellow at all. So Doris was nearly in tears because her mother was going on making fun of Charlie Spence, with whom she was going to go out. So she was almost crying. Oh, shut up. Doris runs out left. Mrs. Pearson chuckles and begins putting the cards together. So she is smiling to herself because she has given her a good reply. After a moment, Cyril Pearson enters. He is the masculine counterpart of Doris. So Cyril Pearson is the son of Mrs. Pearson. So he comes into the house after some time. So Cyril briskly, hello mom, tea ready? So the moment he enters, he is asking his mother if the tea was ready. Mrs. Pearson, no. So Cyril moving to the table, annoyed, why not? Coolly, I couldn't bother. So Cyril is asking his mother, why is that you didn't get the tea ready? And the mother, in a very cool manner, she is saying, I couldn't bother. That means I didn't bother to make you tea, or I didn't feel like making, so I did not make. So usually if it was Mrs. Pearson, she would have really kept things ready, but then now we know that this is Mrs. Fitzgerald and she wants to teach them all a lesson. So that's why she was sitting coolly and answering in such a cool tone as well. So Cyril is asking, feeling off color or something? So he is asking her, is that or do you feel off mood or something? Are you not happy, or are you not feeling pleasant? Is that why you didn't make the tea? So Mrs. Pearson is replying, never felt better in my life. So she is saying, no, it's not like that. I have never been so happy in my life. So Cyril aggressively, what's the idea then? Mrs. Pearson, just a change. So he, in a very strong manner, in a very aggressive manner, he is asking the mother, then what is the matter? What is the matter with you? Why are you talking like this? So she says, it's just for a change. All these years I have been doing whatever you wanted, but now I just want to have a change. So briskly Cyril, well, snap out of it, ma, and get cracking, haven't too much time. So immediately Cyril says, now change yourself, don't sit like this, don't continue like this, I have no time, please go and give me my tea. So Cyril is about to go when Mrs. Pearson's voice checks him. So he was about to move, immediately Mrs. Pearson started speaking something. So we know that it is Mrs. Fitzgerald. So Mrs. Pearson, that is Mrs. Fitzgerald, I have plenty of time. Cyril, I haven't. Got a busy night tonight. So moving from left to the door. Did you put my things out? So immediately he says that, don't waste your time, I don't have any time and I am very busy, I have to go out tonight. So he is asking whether did you put my things out. Mrs. Pearson coolly, can't remember, but I doubt it. So she is saying that, no, I don't remember whether I put your things out, I am not sure whether I did it. So Cyril moving to the table protesting. So he was protesting the way the mother was reacting, because he never expected this kind of behavior from his mother, because she was always a meek personality. She would do anything before they asked and she would be very helpful to the mother. She would not make them work at all. Now look, when I asked you this morning, you promised, you said you will have to look through them first in case there was any mending. So he said, see, in the morning you told me that you also promised me that you will be looking after my things and especially my clothes if there was any mending. That means if there was any kind of repair, I would do that first. So now Mrs. Pearson is replying, yes, well, now I have decided I don't like mending. So in a very aggressive manner, the mother, that is Mrs. Fitzgerald, is trying to say, yes, now I said that in the morning, but now I have decided that I don't like mending. I am not going to do any mending anymore. So that's what she said. So why is Mrs. Fitzgerald speaking in this manner? Because she wanted the family members of Mrs. Pearson to understand the importance of Mrs. Pearson. She has been doing all the work all the time and there has been no gratitude at all towards her. So now as Mrs. Pearson, she is trying to be very stubborn. So she is trying to act like a person who would not bother to do anything for them, so that they realize their responsibilities and share the work. So that is why she is trying to talk to them in such a manner. That's a nice way to talk. What would happen if we all talk like that? So immediately Cyril says, okay, you're talking in a very nice manner, you're refusing to do things. So what will happen if we also start speaking like you? So Mrs. Pearson, you all do talk like that. If there is something at home you don't want to do, you don't do it. If it's something at your work, get the union to bar it. Now all that's happened is that I've joined that movement. So what is she trying to make him understand? She is saying that, yes, you always talk like that. I am only talking like this for the first time. If there is anything you don't like in the house and you don't want to do, you decide like that and you don't do it at all. And even if there is something at work which you don't like, you get your union people to bar it, means to stop that work. So now all that's happened is what I have joined the movement. So now the mother is trying to say, now I have also understood what to do and how to behave. So I have also joined the movement like how you people behave. So here afterwards I am also going to behave in such a manner. That means I will do only what I like and whenever I like. So if you want anything, you have to do it yourself. So Doris enters left. She is in the process of dressing and is now wearing a wrap. She looks pale and red-eyed. So this girl, the daughter, comes in and she is looking pale and red-eyed. That means as if she has cried a lot. Mrs. Pearson, you look terrible. I wouldn't wear that face even for Charlie Spence. So again she is making fun of her daughter. What is she saying? You are looking very terrible and I don't want to keep such a face even if I am with Charlie Spence. So Doris moving above the table angrily. Oh, shut up about Charlie Spence, and anyhow I am not ready yet, just dressing. So she does not like her mother making fun of Charlie Spence and she is telling her to shut up and not talk more about him. And she also tells her that she has not completed her dressing. And if I look terrible, it's your fault, you made me cry. And she is telling that the mother is responsible for her bad looks because it is she who spoke in such a manner and made her cry. Cyril very curious. So he was curious to know why the sister was crying. What did she do? Never you mind. So the girl is telling her brother, you don't bother about that. Immediately Mrs. Pearson rising and preparing to move to the kitchen. Have you any stout left? I can't remember. Cyril, bottle or two I think, but you don't want stout now. So the mother was asking if there is any bottle of stout left. So immediately Cyril says maybe one or two bottles are there, but I don't think you want stout now. So Mrs. Pearson moving left slowly, I do. What for? So she is asking, the son is asking, why do you want stout now? So immediately the mother says, to drink, you clout. So what's the meaning of stout? Stout is a kind of a beer. So she was going to drink this beer, and the children are astonished, and she is calling the son as a clot. Clot means a foolish fellow. So Mrs. Pearson exits right. Instantly Cyril and Doris are in a huddle close together at left center, rapidly whispering. So the mother goes off out of that room. Immediately both the brother and sister come closely, and they are whispering to each other because they are shocked at the mother's behavior. Mother had never been like this, so they want to whisper to each other. Doris, has she been hit like that? Has she been like that with you too, Cyril? Yes, no tea ready, couldn't care less. So the sister was asking the brother, did the mother behave to you also like that? So the son says, yes, even she was like that to me. She never made the tea ready, and she was not at all bothered about things when I asked her. Doris, well, I'm glad it's both of us. I thought I had done something wrong. So immediately the sister says, oh, I thought she had been like this only to me. So I'm happy that she has behaved to you also in the same manner. Or I thought that I would have done something wrong, so that is why she was behaving like that to me. So Cyril, so did I, but it's her, of course. So immediately Cyril says, even I felt like that, but then why is she like that? I feel something is wrong with her. Why is she behaving in that manner? So Doris, she was smoking and playing cards when I came in. I couldn't believe my eyes. So she was complaining to her brother, telling him that, see, when I entered the room, she was playing cards and she was smoking, which she had never done before. So I was shocked to see that. Immediately Cyril replies, I asked her if she was feeling off color, and she said she wasn't. And immediately Cyril told his sister that I asked her if she was not in a good mood or something. So she said she was good. So Doris, well, she's suddenly all different, and that what made me cry. And they feel that the mother is all changed, and that is why the daughter started crying. It wasn't what she said, but the way she said it and the way she looked. So they found this certain difference in the mother. She was not the usual self. She was behaving in a totally different manner. We all know the truth that it is not the real mother. It is not Mrs. Pearson who is inside Mrs. Pearson's body. It is actually Mrs. Fitzgerald. So she was talking in a very assertive manner. She wanted the children and the family members to learn about responsibility. So Cyril, haven't noticed that she looks just the same to me. Doris, she doesn't to me. Do you think she could have hit her head or something, and got it? What is it, So both the children were discussing that why mother is so different today, why she is behaving, though both felt that she looks the same, and then they are also thinking if her head hit somewhere, and is that the reason why she is behaving in such a manner. Cyril, so he is staggering. So do you mean she is balmy? So what do you mean staggering means? He was not walking in a steady manner, and he is asking, do you mean she is balmy? Balmy means crazy or mad. So Doris immediately says, no, you fatted, concussion she might have. So she is calling her brother a fathead and telling that the mother might have had a concussion. What's a concussion? Maybe an injury in a brain which is making her behave like this in an unconscious manner or something. So Cyril sounds far-fetched. So he can't believe that such a thing could have happened. Doris, well, she is far-fetched if you ask me. She suddenly begins to giggle. Now then, what is it? So they are talking about the mother, and they are saying how she behaves in a very different manner, in a very far-fetched manner, how she giggles herself, now and then and all that. So they were just wondering what happened to the mother. So, what is this behaving in a far-fetched manner? So, behaving in an unlikely or an unconvincing manner. So, Doris, if she is going to be like this when dad comes home, she giggles again. So, again they were just talking and finding out what will happen if mother is behaving like this even when the dad comes home. Cyril beginning to guffaw. I am staying in for that. 2 front dress circles for the first house. So, he is saying that yes, I am going to wait for that moment and I want to see what happens. So, what is this dress circles? It is a special seat reserved for watching the live theatre. So, he says that he wants to watch what is going to happen when his father comes home. So, Mrs. Pearson enters right carrying a bottle of stout and a half filled glass. So, she comes in with this beer and a glass which is half filled. Cyril and Doris try to stop their guffawing and giggling, but they are not quick enough. Mrs. Pearson regards them with contempt. So, they stop their giggling, and guffawing means laughing out loud. So, as soon as they see, they forget, they are not quick enough to stop. So, Mrs. Pearson looks at them with contempt. That means she is looking at them in an angry manner because they are talking to each other and laughing out loud. So, I hope you liked today's video. Let's look at the next part of this lesson in my next video. For more informative videos, subscribe to Hello English Teacher, like, share and give your valuable comments below. Thank you for watching.